It's been 4 years since the release of Ariana Grande's last album, but I'm happy to report that Glenda Goodwitch has returned. After 4 long years, Ariana Grande has returned with her latest studio album, Eternal Sunshine. This is the 7th studio album Ariana Grande has released, with the last one being Positions, released back in 2020. Ariana Grande seemed to have a lot of momentum going, starting back in 2013 with the release of her album Yours Truly, and later releasing more successful albums like Dangerous Woman, Sweetener, Thank You Next, and the aforementioned Positions. But then it just stopped. For 4 years, we didn't really hear much from Ariana Grande, aside from a few weekend verses here and there. That is until Ariana Grande teased us with the single off of her newest album, Yes and. This album was mostly produced by Max Martin. And for those of you who don't know, Max Martin is probably one of the biggest pop producers in music, having a reputation working with artists like Britney Spears, NSYNC, Katy Perry, working with artists and producing probably some of the most popular music in recent years. So this album pretty much had everything going for it. And I am happy to report that fans of Ariana Grande will really enjoy what they hear on this album. Aria seemingly blended, in her past few albums, has blended pop with rap with R&B, making it this seamless intertwination. Is that a word? Seamless intertwination of sounds to create something unique. And she continues on with that 90s R&B sound to make something that sounds undeniably really freaking good. While I didn't immediately jive with songs like Bye and Don't Wanna Break Up Again, it was really the middle of that where I really started to enjoy this. Undeniably, I think the best song on this album is Supernatural. No pun intended, but also pun fully intended. This song really felt supernatural, giving you an atmospheric feel, comparing the feeling of love to being something out of this world. And personally, I always love the sound of an atmospheric song that just takes you off of your feet and transports you to another dimension. Then you have songs like True Story, The Boy Is Mine, and even songs like We Can't Be Friends offer something that, all in all, sounds really tremendous. And when it comes to softer songs, I did really enjoy what I heard on I Wish I Hated You. And Ordinary People is the only song on here with a feature, and the feature doesn't really do anything. So technically speaking, you could say this is a solo album, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. And while I'm being perfectly honest, I was not a big fan of the lead single on this album, Yes and. I will not lie to you. If this was a song that I heard in the club, I would 1000% be dancing to this. I know I would. But if I'm going to be honest with you, only thing that's really catchy about this is the house style beat that you hear. Nothing about this song, other than that, is really memorable to me. The only part that really got my attention was the high note that Ari hits right before it goes into the hook of her saying, yes, and say that shit with your chest. If I'm gonna be honest, it was the song that kind of gave me bad vibes going into this album. Those vibes were immediately thrown away after I finished listening to this album. I genuinely did have a good time listening to this. For non-fans of pop, or especially non-fans of Ariana Grande, I think this album is going to be pretty hit or miss for you. But if you look past the disdain for Ariana Grande, what you're looking at is a really powerfully produced album mixed with some very vulnerable lyrics from Ariana. Personally, I do not think this is one of Ariana's best. I was more impressed by albums like Thank You Next and Positions, but I do personally think this is an album you will enjoy, and while the lead single certainly isn't anything to poke a stick at, I think this album is certainly something that you will enjoy as an R&B album or as a general pop album. Ariana Grande's Eternal Sunshine is getting a 4 out of 5 scratches. I think looking past a few songs on here that come off as a little bit disjointed and not fully realized, I think when you look at this album as a whole, it's certainly a powerful body of work that, as I said, delivers on that really powerful pop-produced sound that will warm your ears, mixed with very vulnerable lyrics that open Ariana Grande up. Again, while I think previous albums like Thank You, Next, and Position are just a little bit better, I think this is an album that is certainly worth the attention and is something that you will enjoy listening to. But let me know your thoughts. Did you like this album? Did you not like this album? You know what to do. Go down in those comments and let me know. While you're down there, don't forget to scratch that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell if you want to stay updated on the latest Scratch Entertainment content. Additionally, if you would like to suggest me music to review, I would be happy to listen. If you're an artist looking to get profiled, I would love to chat with you and learn more about you. There's more content coming soon. As always, don't forget to keep it locked to Scratch Entertainment.